Hi everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is going to be part 34 of your Snowflake Zero to Hero journey. And today we will be understanding how to load data from Microsoft Azure into the Snowflake. We have already seen in part 14th and 15th how we can load the data from Azure from AWS S3 and GCS. So obviously the next big one which we need to cover, that is to load the data from Azure to Snowflake. These days we you like a lot of people are using Azure, so it is super important to know how to get these things done or how to get the data which you have in your data lakes in your Azure containers, and we can dump into the Snowflake. So in this video, we are going to start right from the beginning, and we will be looking at everything you need to know or every single steps which you will be implementing to connect your Azure storage to Snowflake, and then we will be performing a copy to command. So if you are completely new to the Snowflake and the Azure, then I'll say that okay, watch watch the previous video of the Snowflake, and if you're already familiar with that, then yes, you can continue from here. To perform this activity, I want you should have one the Snowflake account and second is the Azure account. Any one of you can create your free Azure account by going through with this Azure Microsoft portal, and then you can create your account by simply providing your details and the credit cards. Once you are done with that, then you will be creating your Azure container. And in that Azure container, you can keep any folder. So the similar folder structure we kept it in the at the time of loading the data from AWS S3, but this time maybe we can go for any other folder name. Once you are done with all these things, then you can copy any of the any you can copy any files or any CSV files, JSON file, whatever you wanted to load it into this containers, and from there we will be performing the basic steps. So in this exercise, what I have this address data which I wanted to load into my Snowflake. So for this, I'll go into my browser, and this is going to be my Azure portal. I mean, this is going to be your once you will be logging into it. So the very first thing is that you will be going to the storage account. In that storage account, I have already created what the Snowflake YouTube. But if you're coming for the very first time, then you're going to simply click on plus create options, and then it will ask you to basic details like the resource group. So if this is your very first time, then yes, you can create your resource group. Otherwise, you can use the existing one. The account name, you can use it, the Snowflake Learning YouTube, anything you can keep it. All right. And make sure this should be unique like AWS S3 bucket. And after that, you can simply click on next. There is no need of like choosing other different reasons. So you can just simply go for the next and the review and create. I had already won this Snowflake YouTube, so I'm going to use that. Once it is done, you guys can wait it. Once you can done, you can come into the container, okay, and then you can just simply click on create, and it's just starting the deployment, and you will be seeing that yes, you do have a storage account. So if I come into the home page and click on the storage, once it is done, you will be seeing two storage account in your Azure portal. Okay, it is working, deployment is in progress. So I'll come into the storage account, and here I am seeing only the Snowflake YouTube, but you would be also seeing the other one. So you will be seeing that, okay, that you will be like having a check, green check or green tick mark. Now once it is done, you're going to click on that, and you will be going under this data storage, and in the data storage you will click on the containers. So these are the kind of folders you can say. Okay, you can see this deployment succeeded. So you have your another this storage account also. Here I created two folders like source folder and destination folder, and inside that source folder I have kept it my address data.csv. So I'm sure that you guys can do that, or you must be having the same already configured. Now the next big thing is that how we will be connecting my Snowflake with the Azure. Because I wanted to load this address data, and I do have the structure already. So I am going to create my address table here. But what if you do not know the structure of the file? Then just go through with my part 33 where I had talked about the info schema. So there you can utilize that info schema and create table using template. So in this case, if like in case if you do not know about the data, not knowing about not having any information about the file, then you can utilize that. But I do have this address table created. Now the next thing is I'm going to create a file format, and I'm sure you must be quite familiar with all these things. Oh, sorry, I have already created it. So I'm going to use a create or replace without getting any error. This is done. And now the most important part is to maintain the handshake, that is going to be the storage integration. So the storage integration is the same, like it's we have already created for the AWS S3 also. So you're gonna use this syntax, create or replace storage integration, and the name of it, you can keep any name of it like Azure Learning, Azure Practice, my YouTube Learning, and XYZ, Megan Fox, anything. Then the type is external stage. Storage provider is Azure. In case of AWS S3 or GCS, you're gonna mention that name. Then enable true. But what is the important is line number 25 and 26. Because this is you will be getting from Google, ChatGPT, in fact, the Snowflake documentation, you will be getting all like 21 to 24. But how are we going to get this tenant ID and the storage allow location? For this allow location, you will go back to this source folder, like whichever the container and the like the storage account and the container you have created. You see the source folder, you're going to click on that. You can simply click on those three dots and container properties. When you click on the container properties, you can copy this and you will come over here and you just paste it and replace this HTTPS with Azure. And it's going to be the same. All right. So you're going to copy the storage allow location by like from which folder you wanted to get the files. And obviously you can pass multiples. And there is one more property we do have, the storage block location, which we have in case if there are five folders, and out of that five folders you have like or we can probably say that okay, there is one file which I do not want it to process, or I do not want to give the Snowflake access to read it, then you can just put it into the block location. How about the tenant ID? Where from I'm going to get this? So for that, you can simply search, you can come into your home page and you can simply search your tenant ID. As soon as you will try to type a tenant, then you will be getting a tenant properties. You click on that. In the tenant properties, you will be seeing your tenant ID, this one. You're going to copy this and you will be pasting it. Now once it is done, you're going to press enter. Your storage integration is created, but this is just the one step, or you can say you have taken a one step ahead to get connected with the Azure. Now the second step will be taken from the Snowflake. So you're going to describe this integration. You will be getting two properties, line number 7 and line number 8. We can see this allowed location we have provided, block location we have kept it as empty, like, or we have not given anything. These are tenant ID, you provided it. Okay, so you line number 7 and line number 8. In the line number 7 we have a Azure consent URL. You are going to copy that, and then you can simply click on that and will be opening into it. Now, if you are doing it the very first time, it will be asking that, okay, Microsoft or Azure wanted to get some confirmation or wanted to authorize something. I did that already. That's why I did not get it. Otherwise, you would be getting that that get message, and you just need to accept it. Once you've done the accept, it is going to open that snowflake.com page. Okay, after that the next step is you're gonna take this multi-tenant app and you are going to copy that. This is very important step. Most of the people think that we have clicked on the consent URL, that means we have maintained a proper handshake with the Azure. So after clicking on this consent URL, the next part is you're gonna copy your multi-tenant app, and you can copy over here, and then you will go back to this Azure account, and here in the storage account, you're gonna click on that, and in this Snowflake YouTube, click on the IAM access control. Once you clicked on it, then there is next is a role assignment. So you will click on the add, and here you have the add role assignment. I'm repeating, you need to copy this tenant app name. You will come to this particular bucket, particular we can say the storage account. Go to the IAM, and from this IAM, you're going to click on the role assignment. And in the role assignment, you will be selecting the storage contributor. And if you'll scroll down, there is we do have storage blob data contributor. You're gonna select it and then click on next. After that, now one more thing, if you will look at it, the storage blob data contributor, that means you are giving the permission to read, write, and delete access to this Azure storage blob container and data. So I'm going to give him on not only just the read access but the write access also. Otherwise, you can simply select Azure Blob Storage read. There we do have a read access. Now we have copied this tenant app name. This will come in the picture. You need to click on this assign access to user group or service principal. No, we will be selecting the members. When you click on select members, it's only your name is coming, but you're gonna copy paste that tenant name. Now it's coming no result. That means, is that the app is not reflecting in the Azure? No, actually we just need to consider before this underscore. Now, as soon as you just deleted that, you got your application name. You're going to select it and you're going to click on review and assign. So this means this is the app name. It got created by the Snowflake when we have configured the storage integration, and you are giving the permission to this particular here. We are doing a role assignment to this particular app name. So once it is done, now next step is the storage integration is created. My next step will be to configure or to create your external stage. So to create an external stage, the same thing we did it for Azure also. In this scenario, now you will be referring this storage integration. And why we have created this storage integration? Otherwise, you have to create your SaaS token. In case of AWS, you have to pass your access key. So that's where you're gonna use the storage integration to configure that and to tell Snowflake and the Azure that yes, we both are friends. Both have agreed that yes, you can do the data transfer. So after that, you're gonna use this. You can create your stage, create or replace stage as your stage, and then this URL is going to be your same URL like of that particular folder. It is going to be same as what we passed in this storage integration. Then the name of the storage integration, and this is my CS on the file format CSV type. So I'm going to click on that. Okay, now I have created it, but whether it is successfully the connection successfully established or not, we won't be able to know until and unless we perform a list command and we can see some objects. If you will come into the containers we have the source folder. Inside that source folder we do have this address data. So I wanted to check how many files I do have in this bucket or in this external stage. For that, I need to run a command list at that it stage name. So if my connection is successfully established, that means yes, I would be seeing some record there. And yes, you look at here. Okay, so it's coming this 6:44 GMT, but in India we do have 1 a.m. in the morning. Now, this is how you can verify. So, if you are able to see this over here, then that means yes, you have successfully established the connection with the Azure container. Now, to check it, you can simply write few of the queries to limit 100, and you can query on this particular data. If you have multiple files, then you can write it, or you can mention or specify that particular file name. So this we have already covered in part 12, 13, 14, and you guys can go and watch the previous videos. Now, as the next thing is, I will be running a copy into command, and I am just simply doing a copy into table from stage. However, not considering any other parameters like on error equal to continue, validation mode, and other things. Okay, so I am going to run this copy into address from Azure stage, and if there is no data type error, then it will be successfully loaded, and yes, it is loaded now. So if I have to check this data, select star from address, I should see 19,614 records. 19.6k records, these are the columns, and yes, this data is perfectly fine. So that's how you can load the data into your from Azure stage to from external stage or from Azure Lake data lake to Snowflake. Now you can do the reverse also. Copy into Azure stage, and let me just do one thing. Let me create another stage, but this time I'm gonna create a stage with this destination folder. So I'll come back here. This is my destination folder, so I'm gonna copy it. I'm gonna click on this destination folder. Here I don't have any particular files. Okay, so in this one, this is going to be my Azure unload stage, and I'm gonna create another stage. Oh, yep. That's fine. Okay, why I'm gonna get this error? Because we have not declared this path in my storage integration. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's like I just wanted to do a copy into stage, so I'm gonna use into the existing stage only. Otherwise you just have to create another storage integration with the different URL, or you could have simply like limit yourself till this point. Okay, so I'm gonna do the copy into stage from snowflake sample data tpchsf one customer. Let's see what happened if I'm gonna run it. Again, I'm not selecting or not going for any other parameters like max file size or single equal to true. So if you remember, at the time of the role assignment, I have selected the storage data contributor. That means not only just the read the file from this container to the Snowflake, but it is gonna write also. So here, if you will look at it now, list at the rate Azure stage, you to see like some files. This is what you can see. The 4 files got created here. If I'll come back here and open this source folder, then yes, you will be seeing the 4 files. And if I wanted to remove every single file, then I can simply run a command remove Azure stage, and all files have been removed. Again, why? Because we have given a write permission also. So if anyone asks that if I'm going to delete a remove going to execute a remove external stage command, whether it is going to just delete the file from the Snowflake, no. External stage is not something which store the file within the Snowflake. It is only and only going to point or going to refer that file in the external cloud, so it will remove the file from the external cloud. So I hope you have understood how you're going to load the data from Azure to Snowflake or Snowflake to Azure. If you have liked this video, then please give a thumbs up and share with your friends. Thank you so